Welcome to Learn with Aisha. If you are aiming to pass exam DP 600, you in the right place.
Today, we're diving into Case Study 1. Before we begin, please subscribe to support your journey to becoming a fabric analytics engineer. Now, let's dive in. Here's the overview. Contoso LLC is a US-based health supplements company. Contoso has two divisions named Sales and Research. The Sales Division contains two departments named Online Sales and Retail Sales. The Research Division assigns internally developed product lines to individual teams of researchers and analysts. Their existing environment says that Contoso has a Microsoft Entra tenant named contoso.com. The tenant contains two groups named Research Reviewers Group 1 and Research Reviewers Group 2. Coming to data environment, Contoso has the following data environment. The Sales Division uses a Microsoft Power BI Premium capacity. The semantic model of the Online Sales Department includes a fact table named Orders that uses import made. In the system of origin, the order ID value represents the sequence in which orders are created. The Research Department uses an on-premises, third-party data warehousing product. Fabric is enabled for Contoso.com. An Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 storage account, named Storage 1, contains Research Division data for a product line named Product Line 1. The data is in the Delta format. A Data Lake Storage Gen 2 storage account, named Storage 2, contains Research Division data for a product line named Product Line 2. The data is in the CSV format. Here are the requirements. In planned changes, Contoso plans to make the following changes. Enable support for Fabric in the Power BI Premium capacity used by the Sales Division. Make all the data for the Sales Division and the Research Division available in Fabric. For the Research Division, create two Fabric workspaces named Product Line 1Ws and Product Line 2Ws. In Product Line 1Ws, create a lakehouse named Lakehouse 1. In Lakehouse 1, create a shortcut to Storage 1 named Research Product. Data analytics requirements. Contoso identifies the following data analytics requirements. All the workspaces for the Sales Division and the Research Division must support all Fabric experiences. The Research Division workspaces must use a dedicated, on-demand capacity that has per-minute billing. The Research Division workspaces must be grouped together logically to support OneLake Data Hub filtering based on the department name. For the Research Division workspaces, the members of Research Reviewers Group 1 must be able to read lakehouse and warehouse data and shortcuts by using SQL endpoints. For the Research Division workspaces, the members of Research Reviewers Group 2 must be able to read lakehouse data by using Lakehouse Explorer. All the semantic models and reports for the Research Division must use version control that supports branching. Data preparation requirements. Contoso identifies the following data preparation requirements. The Research Division data for Product Line 1 must be retrieved from Lakehouse 1 by using Fabric notebooks. All the Research Division data in the lakehouses must be presented as managed tables in Lakehouse Explorer. Semantic model requirements. Contoso identifies the following requirements for implementing and managing semantic models. The number of rows added to the orders table during refreshes must be minimized. The semantic models in the Research Division workspaces must use direct lake mode. General requirements. Contoso identifies the following high-level requirements that must be considered for all solutions. Follow the principle of least privilege when applicable. Minimize implementation and maintenance effort when possible. Here comes our question. You need to ensure that Contoso can use version control to meet the data analytics requirements and the general requirements. What should you do? A. Store at the semantic models and reports in Data Lake Gen 2 storage. B. Modify the settings of the research workspaces to use a GitHub repository. C. Modify the settings of the Research Division workspaces to use an Azure Repos repository. D. store all the semantic models and reports in Microsoft OneDrive? Please pause the video and take a moment to think about it. The answer is option C. Modify the settings of the Research Division workspaces to use an Azure Repos repository. Why? Because if we look at the options, option A, storing semantic models and reports in Data Lake Gen 2 storage might provide a storage solution, but it does not address the requirement for version control. Option B, while GitHub is a popular version control platform and supports branching, it will not integrate seamlessly with Contoso's Azure-based environment. Option D, Microsoft OneDrive is primarily a file hosting service and is not well suited for version control of complex datasets, semantic models, and reports, and has nothing to do with version control. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Modify the settings of the Research Division workspaces to use an Azure Repos repository. Also, to support our answer, let's look at the Microsoft documentation that says, currently, only Git in Azure Repos with the same tenant as the Fabric tenant is supported. Let's move on to the next question. You need to recommend a solution to group the Research Division workspaces. What should you include in the recommendation? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Please pause the video and take a moment to think about it. The grouping method is domain because, in Fabric, a domain logically groups together all the data in an organization relevant to a particular area or field. You can read more about it in the Microsoft documentation, linked in the description box. The tool for this task is the Fabric admin portal. You can create domains using the admin portal. While you might argue that OneLake Data Hub can be used, it is primarily for viewing domains and underlying artifacts, not for creating them. Since the question asks for a solution to group the Research Division workspaces, I would recommend using the Fabric admin portal. Question 3. You need to refresh the orders table of the online sales department. The solution must meet the semantic model requirements. What should you include in the solution? A. An Azure Data Factory pipeline that executes a stored procedure activity to retrieve the maximum value of the order ID column in the destination lakehouse B. An Azure Data Factory pipeline that executes a stored procedure activity to retrieve the minimum value of the order ID column in the destination lakehouse C. An Azure Data Factory pipeline that executes a data flow to retrieve the minimum value of the order ID column in the destination lakehouse D. An Azure Data Factory pipeline that executes a data flow to retrieve the maximum value of the order ID column in the destination lakehouse. The correct answer is D. Firstly, options B and C talk about the minimum value, so those two options are ruled out. In option A, a stored procedure does not return a value, so the correct answer is D. There is a detailed explanation about incremental loads in the Microsoft documentation, which I will link in the description box for your reference. Now, let's move on to the last question for this case study. Which syntax should you use in a notebook to access the Research Division data for Product Line 1? Please pause the video and take a moment to think about it. The correct answer is